So, welcome everyone. SpenVentures here. We are at a good early Sunday afternoon, sipping on a piping hot caffeinated beverage. And it's 37 degrees out in Florida today. In Clermont, we are in Clermont back at the Citrus Coffee, just right below the Citrus Tower, which is we're just under the Citrus Tower, where it's an observation overlook of all the surrounding Clermont and further down areas where you can see far out from downtown Orlando to Lake Wales and Disney. Wanted to give a recap of yesterday because I did not do a video yesterday. It was way too cold. I ended up going to Busch Gardens yesterday because a friend of mine had an extra ticket and it expired yesterday. If it wasn't used, it was a waste of a ticket. So we all decided to brave the elements and cold and go to Busch Gardens. No ride. We ended up waiting in line for Cobra's Curse, a roller coaster. We waited in line for an hour. When we got up to the front, and the operator of the roller coaster said to shut it down because of the cold and the high winds. The winds were blowing at 31 miles per hour, which was very cold. There was a wind chill, and so there was an Arctic blast that came in from the northwest that swept across the United States, across the country. We were in a freeze watch last night and early this morning because the temperature, when I got in my car this morning to go to church, the temperature in my car was 30 to 31 degrees. It was below freezing. And may I remind you, we are in Florida. So this is definitely an historic event that it's been in a long time, in over 100 years. And, or maybe, well, I think less than that, but besides the point, this is the coldest it's been in a long time in Florida. And so we waited in line for an hour let's go back to Busch Gardens. We waited in line for an hour, got back, we ended up going out to dinner last night, and ended up having a good time overall, even though we didn't ride any rides at all, and walked around walked around the park, freezing cold. And so after that, we went by and changed the light bulbs and the lamps. But no, we overall ended up having a good time yesterday. I just didn't feel like filming yesterday, just I wanted to hang out with friends, and my fingers were very numb, so I didn't want to pull my camera out and film basically nothing. I mean, the park was very barren, and there was like hardly anyone there. A lot of people left early because it was so cold, and none of the rides were operating, so there was no point. And a lot of them actually went over to guest relations to refund their tickets, see if they could get a refund on their tickets for another day to come when it was a little bit warmer and when rides were in operation. And so we did that, and so that was kind of the recap of yesterday. Today, wanted to go to we are actually going to head over here in a little bit. We're going to head over to the historical village of Clermont and learn about the history of Clermont and the surrounding area and what made the city grow from a citrus plantation to a growing city like Clermont is today. We're going to start out, of course, there's historical homes, and I'll talk a little bit more once we get there. But I mean, if you enjoy a nice hot caffeinated beverage, orange cream latte. Got this one the first time I came here, and it's so delicious. I drank all. But anyway, so yeah, that's kind of the recap of what happened yesterday. Also, there's a problem with my card again, and so I need to go back and go back and get the purchase, or call my bank tomorrow, and so I'll have to call after I get off work. Tomorrow's a half a day, and so I get off at 1:30 tomorrow, which is good because I don't need to be. I need to get this fixed so I can get my card back in order and be able to put more gas in my car. But yeah, so sorry it's a long intro. Just wanted to recap of what happened yesterday, and we will see you all at the historical village in Clermont. All right, and we have made it to the Clermont Historical Village. As you can see, we got some historical sites and old buildings, old railroad depot, an old yard signal of the train yard as well. So we're going to take a look around today and check out some of these old buildings and what they were used for here in Clermont in the city before it was a busy, bustling business town. From the orange groves, citrus groves, to a place of attractions and historical sites as it is today. Let's go ahead and head on in. Alright, looks like we have a historical home. It was built, the Townsend House, built in 1895. Head on in here. It's cold in here, holy cow. It's freezing. Alright, so we got an old record player. Old record player here. Some old books. It is colder in here than it is outside. This is a full edition. Uniform edition of my books. It's an authorized. Wow. Some books of signed Mark Twain. Mark Twain is an old style spinning wheel. Great or walking spinning wheel. Looks on the historical calendar of 1992. That's the year I was born. That's Sally Townsend and her husband, James. Within the population of Clermont, their lives a modest, unassuming soul who, for 30 years and more, has been one of the most important characters in the community of Clermont. Called from her bed at all hours of the night, away from her family more than she was with them, frequently for many hours without sleep, always a comfort and solace, a genuine ministering angel wherever she is. Mothers of this section and men, women, grown with families of their own, called Sally Townsend blessed. The angel Gabriel marks down the record of mortals for a reward in heaven. Her book must be a great one. When she is measured for flowing robes, wings of white, and harps of gold, Sally Townsend will surely be given the finest in the heavenly storehouse. project will recapture area's cultural heritage. This is some of the photographs of the area of the village now. Ooh, this is old. Poised to open next year. Calendars of events. Donated Townsend House that will become a historical museum. And also freezing. As well. Historical narrative. Let's hear it.
Welcome to the Townsend House, the home of James and Sally Townsend, the first Americans of African ancestry to permanently settle in Clermont. They came from Orlando, an all-day trip by horse and buggy in those days. They immediately fell in love with the hills and the clear lakes that were the gems of the area. They put down deep roots in Clermont. The Townsends were quite the entrepreneurs. The original bead, board, and batten walls and heart of pine floors. Enjoy.
There we go. And also it's got, this is the dining room. A typical dining room. Of course, they had 4 children. So you heard on the intercom there. There's Sally and Ruth. Bertha Townsend, Sally's mother, and Miss Ruth Townsend Manning. She's the 1895 Townsend House. The current house was 1889. Sorry if I'm speaking stutterly because it is cold in here more than outside. But this is the bedroom. Looks like this is the main bedroom. And what the walk-in closet looks like as well. Bathroom items given by Jack and Louis Allen, Dolores Walker, and this might have been the bathtub, or the bathroom. Yep, bathtub. This is the bathroom. Of course, they have the bed, got the crib in here for the kids, their children, and there's the main bedroom. We can't go upstairs, it's roped off. This is the Townsend house. And so we're going to move on to the next house and get out of this house because it is freezing in there. Oh, it's so cold. But we are going to make our way over to the next home, which looks like it's next door to the Townsend house. Right over this way. Of course, then we'll go and just make a loop. But this one, I believe, is the current house. I think this is the current house. Built in 1883. It is the current house. This is a little bit better. But let's go ahead and have a listen.
Welcome to the home of Alexander and Eleanor Kern. Mr. and Mrs. Kern were one of many brave families who came to Central Florida from New Jersey, corner of Montrose and 8th Street, and they operated it for over 10 years. We are standing in the living room. This room has all original walls, flooring, and woodwork.
Okay. Apparently that's of course got a chimney, stove, cast iron stove where they do cooking. The original chest, this chest is original for trunks. This is a trunk. Travel bags are probably in there as well. This is the note. Department of the Interior, Bureau of Detention of Washington. Sparkman, S.M. Sparkman, my dear Miss Mr. Sparkman. It gives me pleasure to inform you that the original claim for pension of Eleanor Kern, widow of Alexander Kern, late a regiment of Clermont, Florida, has been allowed under certificate number 659836 at rate of $8 a month, November 9th, 1907. In April 1908, and the certificate will soon be forwarded to the pension agent at Knoxville for transmittal to the beneficiary with voucher for payment. So that's like the paperwork to this house. We move on into the kitchen area. Of course, we got more of the old house goes to new home. This is what it looks like, or what it was. There he is, Alexander Kern and Eleanor Kern. Rebecca Kern, their daughter. 1907, wow. Alexander died in 1907. Eleanor Kern, 1942, wow. He was born in 1836 in Pennsylvania. 1861, enlisted in the Union Army, that would be the Civil War, 1861, Regiment of New York. Moving on down, 1897, he purchased the Wilson General Merchandise Store, like we heard over the intercom there as well, on 8th Street. Operated until his death in 1907. The homes in Clermont, which did not have their own private gas-powered generators, were not wired with electricity until 1915, at which time electricity was generated for public use for the first time in the newly private-owned power plant. It was a 24-hour service until 1921. Eleanor Kern, 1919, widow, sold the house in 8 lots at 543 Montrose Street, price of $5,000, but reserved ownership in the water system. Water tank located in the rear yard collapsed in 1921. Kern well and water mains continued in operation until 1922. City of Clermont, reincorporated in 1916, erected the first city-owned water tower at the intersection of DeSoto and Lake Avenue, purchased some of the old Kern water mains. Eleanor Kern, widow, died in 1942, buried in Oak Hill Cemetery in Clermont beside her husband. The Kern children grew up in Clermont. Will Kern, never married, was elected mayor of Clermont in 1919. He died in 1962. Rebecca Kern married Paul Brantley, 1906, gave birth to Pauline Brantley in 1910, and then divorced and remarried Richard Bronson in 1920. Gave birth to Virginia Bronson in 1921, died in 1970. Both Will and Reba are buried beside their parents in Oak Hill Cemetery in Clermont. Wow. Okay, so a little family backstory of the in Clermont, families of Clermont, as well as this looks like the kitchen. This is this would be the kitchen where they cook meals and stuff like that. But they also have, this is also recipes. These are food recipes of how to make different food items. And a stove. They didn't have microwaves, so you always had to heat everything up by a stove. They had microwaves back then. You got like a wash dishes. This is how you wash dishes in here, with a wash tub. And then over here, you got the family room. Well, I call this a music room, actually. This is a music room where you got different types of instruments. You got the trumpet, the banjo, and violin, and a clarinet with a piano. Ooh, still shivering in here. Ooh, looks like we can go upstairs. Take a look. Let's go upstairs. And then we'll come back here and listen to more items. We're up the stairs now. We can come up here. Higher elevation. Alright, so we are in the kids' room. This looks like one of the kids' bedrooms in the back here. You see the pretty white dress right here. This dress was used for a wedding, in the wedding. Whenever she married, not Ruth, the daughter married right here. And, of course, the bed's right here as well. And you got the crib for the baby. There's the baby. And then, if you look out the window, here, you can see the Lincoln Park School. Oh, that feels so good. That sun feels so good on the window. It's so cold. You can look out, you can kind of just see out of the historical village window. There's the crib, the baby in there. That's the old-time photo of what Clermont used to be. It used to all be citrus groves, orange groves. Like I said before, it became a popular growing city. So we move on forward. Keep going through here. This must be the parents' bedroom. It's bigger as well. Yeah, this is the mirror where Mom did her makeup, and Troy, hello. Yes, it's cold. I'm wearing like 4 layers of clothing. Oh, that's the wind. I was like, what is that? That's a nice white dress. That wind's blowing. I promise it's not haunted. Closet, clothes, bedroom. This side, this must be one of the daughter's rooms. I like the bed frame. But, of course, Dr. Richmond Simmons, items in this room donated. Richard Simmons. Mirror here. Things. But a basin for hand washing. And a dress. It's been really skinny. Whoa. It's also being painted. Oh, wow. Look at this. Another kid's bedroom, but look at this dollhouse. This is amazing. What is it? Is there nothing? There's Santa on top of this, on top of the roof. Wow, look at this. Amazing. Oh. You must have like the daughter's room and their kids' room, I guess. Practical porcelain doll. Alright, so this was the chapel, 1800s. And everyone is welcome, as always. So this is the chapel. It's a small little church. So you see the doves up on the ceiling there, the stained glass doves. Of course, the cross. And the piano with the songbook on top of the mantle. Worship the King. All glorious above, and gratefully sing his wonderful love. We sing this song in church too, actually. play. But it's the chapel. They're learning. All right, welcome to the school. 1915. It's a small little schoolhouse. Looks like they're getting ready for learning times, reading. Either reading or learning to write letters. And sewing. Sewing hornbook. What you reading there? Looks like they are practicing reading and math. Oh my word, no. Never mind. Got their portfolios. There are work in there. Clermont's entire school, 1905. Total of like 12 kids. They have less kids than I do. A teacher teaching them the alphabet. I'm hoping there's 26 letters up there. But so they got some of the probably in the summertime it gets really, really hot. Looks like they have the leading facts of American history. It's like the dates, Clermont area schools, all the way down to 1913 and 14. A second room was added to the Broome Street School. Of course, it's public instructions. What is in it? Oh, this is probably the warmest place I've been in today, other than the coffee house in Citrus Tower. But this is warm. We're in the library now with different artifacts and books throughout. Looks like had some Dolores Walker, Clermont, Florida, resident of Lake County since 1926 through 1943, and then moved back, I guess, in 1946. She's still living? Wow. There's some of the names on there. Of course, all these different areas here. There's the Citrus Tower. We were just there a little bit ago. Showplace of Citrus. Picnic Grove, gift shop and soda fountain. Yes, in the tower. Clermont. The Gem of the Hills. That's what the Clermont is called. The Gem of the Hills. You can see a bunch of our stickers and postcards on the Citrus Tower. As you can see, that's just the Citrus Tower alone. There's no coffee house underneath it yet. But, oh no, it used to be a soda fountain. That's it right there. That would have been the coffee house. Either there or on the other side. But that was in, it should have a date on it. But that's the Citrus Tower. Of course, over here, we got more artifacts. You got, oh, here's a map of Clermont Township, range 22 south, 24 east. So you can see Groveland. These are farms, citrus farms, right here. All around here, you can see in these squares, this was all citrus farmland right here. And if you go out more, you got some, of course, you got the main road, 33 and 27, which is right here, Highway 27 and Highway 33. And you this side, Lake Manila, still going, and Lake Minnehaha, Summer Lake. And you got Highway 50 right here. And then you got Highway, this one. There's 27. That's Highway 27 right here. Go out. So this, right here, all this is Clermont. Alright, so the museum is actually inside the library. So you can see all the different artifacts and things on the wall, and there, right behind me here is some of the medicines that they used back then for people to help them get better and to give to sick patients to help them feel better, and the different vials and medicines and different items here. Of course, right behind me as well is an old typewriter that was used in 1918 and up to 2009, and then this is right next to it is the it's the machine, and this is called Morse code. Now, Morse code was used way back a long time. A lot of the time, airports, train yards, modes of transportation would use Morse code to communicate to the other workers and men who were working at the airport or on the railroad to communicate back and forth. With the operators back at the towers to make sure that trains and airplanes were communicating effectively and efficiently, so there could be no major problems or issues on the rails or in the air. This is kind of how you read Morse code as well. You got the alphabet, of course, all 26 letters and 9 numbers. It's like that's how they would communicate between the two, between the operators in the towers and the workers on the ground and the pilots or engineers. All right, so we are in the World War II Museum, and this is, of course, going back to World War II when the U.S. and Germany were at war with each other and protecting our country. And so these are just some of the artifacts and things that possibly were used back in World War II, and some things were brought back from Germany and Russia to fight off against the Soviet Union. Like this, the Wall of Honor, World War II. So you can see some of the wartime telephone service. War ration book number 3. Of course, Army, Navy, store history. 1943 steel cent. Coins that were used in the war. There's Mickey Mouse and heading off to first aid. Time telephone service. Season's greetings. Christmas. Got mail. I am an American. Got mail? That would send letters back and forth for the men who were fighting overseas to the women back home and children who were back home uh, in the United States. Here's some of the guns and weaponry used in the war, World War II as well. And then Thomas Franklin Stoddard, a resident of Clermont, early 20s until death in 1981. He served in the Navy during World War II. ID tags, World War II Medal of Honor. There's the money currency. Tommy was only 21 years old when he was captured by the Japanese at Corriger and spent nearly 3 years as a prisoner of war, knowing that he was dying. Tommy scribbled a farewell message on the backs of 2 family photographs that were later smuggled from one POW to another. They were finally mailed to his parents in late 1945. Mommy and Dad. It's pretty hard to check out this way without a fighting chance, but we can't live forever. I'm not afraid to die. I just hate the thought of not seeing you again. Buy Turkey Ranch with my money and think of me often while you're there. Make liberal donations to both sisters. See that Gary has a new car for his first year of high school. I'm sending Walt's medals to his mother. He gave them to me September 43, last time I saw him and Bud. They went to Japan. I guess you can tell Patty that fate just didn't want us to be together. Hold a nice service for me in Bakersfield and put headstone in new cemetery. He spelled cemetery wrong. Take care of my nieces and nephews. Don't let them ever want anything as I want you, warmth or water now. Loving and waiting for you in the world beyond. Your son, Lieutenant Tommy Kennedy.
The very top shelf, the Star of David that the Jewish people were forced to wear so they could easily be identified and picked up on the street. That's in such good shape, we're thinking it's not original.
Oh, wow.
Okay, because we think if it was original, it would be in worse shape.
Worse shape, right.
Okay. And this black and white flag is an SS flag. And given the material it's made out of, we think that might be a replica also.
Okay.
But everything else, we have every reason to believe they're real. Some of the items, the people talked to us about them when they gave them to us.
Okay.
So we know their provenance that way.
Okay. So you'd have to go from Lake Monroe. You'd have to go from Lake Monroe to get on a train if you wanted to ship anything to the west.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that's because then it would be from there. And then, of course, here's the map. I guess this is the map of the seaboard line. Seaboard.
Oh my God, does nothing stop these stupid Pokemon people?
I got away from the window.
Yeah. Yeah, then we got the Pokemon
We call it
crowd.
busy railroad days in Clermont.
The Pokemon crowd.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's,
oh.
I guess it's not cold enough to keep them
Three
away.
electric
This
heaters
looks
and a
like
wood
the-
burning stove going.
Yeah,
And it's 76 degrees when I left.
30
Yeah, that's not
miles.
bad.
That's about right for an old man.
Yeah.
3 miles of Orange Gap to Seminole Gap. This was the line. Coast to coast connector. Total estimated miles 275. Gap miles 72. Complete gap $42 million.
Jim,
Jim,
Take
take
a
a
walk.
walk.
Okay.
This is the map
oh,
of the Seaboard Airline Railway in 1921. Yeah, there was a, alright, back into the warmth of my car. Overview of the historic village. Very, very interesting facts and items from the different locations, from the Townsend house to the Kern house, 2 different families or origins and backstory. Very, very interesting. Also, the World War II Museum was really cool, just showing how the when the armies when the U.S. had to go to war with Germany and to fight off against the Soviet Union as well, and then over in the schoolhouse and the chapel, just very small, both of them. Not a lot of members, church members, or students in the classroom. There were only about 12 kids in the schoolhouse total in the school, and back in the 1900s, as well as in the chapel and church. Not very many members. Probably maybe 10 to 12. I mean, there weren't that many seats. But overall, a very very educational and interesting historical village here in Clermont as well. And then the library, of course, that had more of the artifacts and more of the backstory of Clermont. It also had a map as well of the town of Clermont. Oh, and then, where else? And then ended up in, of course, the last thing was the train depot. Railroad depot, with the Seaboard Line Railroad, ran through here in the 1900s, early 1900s. We are actually sitting where the tracks would have been, way before it became a public parking, and way before concrete and pavement was made. So, overall, very, very exciting and very fun experience at the historic village in Clermont. Be sure to subscribe to SpenVentures, drop a like on the video, ring the bell, share it with a friend, a local historian, or anyone who loves local history, town history, or state history. And let me know in the comments, and I'll be posting this video up momentarily when I get home. When I arrive back home, I will be posting it. It should be up by tonight on my YouTube channel, www.SpenVentures.com. And we will see you all on the next SpenVenture.